My name's Josh Davis. I'm the owner of JD's Bodega in downtown Boise, Idaho.
I mean, really, fair kind of came out of the pandemic, and when everything was happening, there was a lot of business owners that were really unsure about what to do, how to proceed, what we should be looking out for, really how to kind of operate. It was all new to everybody, and so as that was happening, we all kind of found that there was a hole and there was no real great communication to network with one another to figure out how do we navigate problems like this and other problems. And so really a couple of the founding members of FAIR had come to me and asked if I wanted to be involved, and obviously I said yes, because we were all just kind of spinning our wheels wondering how we were going to proceed and what we needed to do. And for me, we've always been focused on trying to support local businesses here in Boise, and so when these guys came forward, although FAIR is really geared towards independent restaurants and beverage distributors and the local farmers and retailers, and bringing all those people together, we kind of fell outside of that box a little bit, but certainly there was a lot of crossover, and a lot of the people we worked with were having the same issues and problems that we were. To really support a bodega, and having the traffic and the volume and all of that, we're kind of right at the basis of that in our city. So as it continues to grow, it'll get better, and as the density increases in the downtown area, I'm sure we'll see more stores like this pop up. When we launched and opened up, an article came out about us before we were open, and before we had even opened our doors through that building process, there was already word that another bodega or two were going to open up in Boise, and that's totally fine, and I'm not necessarily concerned about that. My only concern with things like that is that people understand that they can be independent and that they're not necessarily tied together. Although we may open additional locations at some point. What I don't want to have happen is what we're trying to build here is we're trying to build something really special. And when other people open up, if people think that they're all under the same ownership, if they have a bad experience somewhere else, I don't want that to reflect on us. But as far as volume of customers and what we're doing, we just kind of try to keep our head down, focus on what we do, and do the best job we can at that. And I don't really get too caught up in what may transpire or what may not transpire, or who's going to open up what. I think what we're trying to build is, I think the customers will find special, and that same thing about how an author in New York would write about why their bodega was the best bodega. That's what we're trying to build with our customers. We want people to have a good, enjoyable experience when they come to our establishment. Yeah, I mean, when we looked at doing the whole idea of bringing something like this to downtown, we knew that it was something that was missing. There wasn't anything like this at the time, and through that process, as we were going through it, it was like, well, I don't want us to be really a convenience store. I don't want people walk in and have that look and feel of it's just generic, mass-produced stuff all the time. And although we carry a wide breadth of products and we have to carry all of those basic things from aspirins to batteries, we want to bring a lot of unique stuff. And so we didn't want it to just look like a convenience store, but it wasn't also going to be quite a market per se either. And so trying to find that term, the bodega, just kind of kept coming up. And the more I looked into it, I discovered kind of the history and the background on bodegas and how they originated as wine cellars. And I think it ultimately became kind of a community gathering spot, or a place where people came in and met and picked up supplies. And as a lot of the Puerto Ricans and folks moved into the New York area, they opened these stores and they referred to them as their bodegas from that historic term that they had always used. And as I looked into like the bodegas of New York and what the top 10 bodegas are that are out there, reading these articles and then going and walking all these places and going from one bodega to another, I was like, well, there's not a lot of difference of why they're saying this bodega is better than this bodega, until I realized that each person that was writing a story on the different bodega, it was because it was their bodega in their neighborhood, and that's what they grew up with, and it was special for them. And that's exactly what we wanted to build, a kind of a community area where people felt comfortable walking in. People got to know you. They can come in, kind of vent. There's almost a little bit of that Cheers vibe when you walk in, like, hey, how's it going? Learning our customers' names, building relationships. And so that is the essence of what a bodega is kind of that community hub of gathering and doing commerce. And so so it just kind of fit the mold. And although people in Boise didn't really know what a bodega might have been at the time, it just figured we would basically determine what Boise's version of a bodega was. And to us, that is that same essence of what a New York bodega is. Even though we're not a New York bodega, we're just Boise's kind of version of that.